Little life update for Ellie. She has gotten a little bit sore recently. So she had the chiropractor visit yesterday and we found some spots that were out. So we're hoping that puts us back on the right track, and we're going to backtrack a little bit to figure out where our comfort zone is again with our riding. We've changed our saddle a little bit, and this will be our second ride in this saddle. We've still got some of our Halloween decorations up, so just kind of letting her wander around and investigate what we've got going on in the arena. Good girl. We're going to do about 20 minutes of just walking work and just see how she's feeling. The biggest issue that we were having was that she was not really letting us pick up her left hind long enough to get it very clean. So that also meant that the farrier could not work on it for her, which is obviously a major issue. Good girl. Good. So curiosity builds confidence, and since she's a big chicken, we have to let her investigate a lot of things, even if she's seen them tons of times. And now she's going to bite them. You're a nut. Good girl. So we realized that she hadn't been seen by the chiropractor in about a year. So hopefully just she was overdue and we can get back on track. We just won't be doing any cantering because I think that may be what potentially caused her to start to go backwards. We shall see how she feels. Starting out, she did pretty good at the mounting block. We've got a nice walk moving forward, looking good so far. So we're practicing holding our bend into a connection, which she has been doing pretty well with lately. Her front end has definitely been becoming more elevated, and she's not curling her head down in between her legs quite so much like she was earlier this year. You can see she's holding herself in a little more of an upright on the vertical position, but she definitely is walking a little bit out of sync with her hind end. So my goal here is just to use my inside leg and rein and really encourage that inside hind to sweep under and come forward into my hand. And then my outside leg and rein are kind of just trying to help shape the body, trying to allow that outside shoulder to step forward a little bit, which she does start to do pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and let her come out of that smaller circle and keep her position, which she does pretty willingly. And she is starting to stretch into that contact downwards, lifting her lower back as well, which is great. That was one of the things that was a little bit tricky last week when she started to really show me where her issues were, was I could still feel her lower back moving well underneath me and lifting, even though she wasn't doing the best with her hind legs. So going left, you can see she's a little stiffer, a little more unsure, and I can't quite figure out where the disconnect is in the hind end yet. When we were having the trouble with the hind legs for picking them up, we have had to start with the right hind and then switch to the left hind, because when we would pick up the left hind first, she would shift herself over and have to put weight onto her right hind, but then shift off of it and put weight onto her left hind. So it was really kind of tricky to sort out, but I think that the chiropractor found that her left SI was out and then possibly her right stifle. So I'm sure that those both are having an effect on how she can use her hind end. So as you can see, I kind of let her come out of the circle when she showed me it was hard in the beginning. But then when we come back to the circle, she's over curling and kind of coming behind the vertical a little bit, because this is such a hard thing for her to do. So that's kind of her go-to way of carrying herself when things get tough, is to kind of curl under. So what I do when she does that is I'm just encouraging her to keep stepping through the connection, at least from hind to front. And then sometimes it helps if we put some ground poles in front of her. So I did just these single ground poles, and I just kind of tried to focus on keeping the bend and the rhythm for the balance to and over the ground poles. Sometimes you can learn things by doing ground poles like I can see that she's coming to the poles and always putting her right front first. And there are a couple where she might put her left front first, but it's a shorter step overall. So again, that could give me an indication that there's something going on in the left shoulder as well. Or it could be a diagonal pair correlation with the right hind. It's always a guessing game, but knowing the biomechanics is so super helpful. So right there, we kind of took a left front step forward and it was shorter, and she really had to slow down and think about it a little bit more, which again, that's just an indicator to me that, okay, maybe there's less confidence and strength there than we initially thought. And then we keep having those little like buckle steps in that left shoulder as well, which I'm still trying to kind of figure out because you don't really feel them coming. They just kind of happen. She thankfully recovers pretty well, but it still is pretty startling to the rider. So we're going to finish up here with another left circle to a nice halt, and that's going to be our ride for today.